In the beginning, I had about 20 experiences trying to break through and never getting there for various reasons. Largely just my smoking technique was off.
Makes me feel good about my failure over like 8. So I guess I'm not too abnormal to have not broken through.
I mean, 20 is an estimate, but it was at least, it was a lot. And I can relate to you not being able to handle the smoke. That was the biggest reason I couldn't handle the smoke. I had read that there was a thing called a breakthrough, right? But I wasn't, this was before I started researching stuff in detail. So I just want to preface this by saying it's not like I was devouring all this info online. I wasn't coloring my experience with expectations. The only thing I knew about a breakthrough was that people meet entities. And like, I really want to stress this. I didn't read a single trip report. This was when I was in my MDMA days or just getting out of them. I was a very different person. You would not catch me dead looking at, I didn't know what Arrowwood was. I just knew that my friend told me people meet entities. I hadn't listened to a single Joe Rogan podcast. Like I'm really shooting a dead horse here, but I knew fucking nothing about what was supposed to happen. And I think that's why I was so blown away by what happened, because I had no expectations. So I would have been the epitome of just ignorance is bliss. That was me. Just totally ignorant to what DMT can do and just trying to inhale as much as possible. So just picture that. Not knowing that this could completely make me feel like I'm dying, killing me, and I'm just like constantly trying. So I really wanted to break through. I had no fear, zero. So I had 20 experiences.
You just wanted to be entities.
Yeah, I just thought I would meet like an alien. I had not even like a butterfly in my stomach, okay? It was like, let's see what happens. And I think I envy that, Adam, because that's not the case now. Now when you know what can happen, your mindset changes. And so most of my experiences were just very sub-level. Like, I mean, I remember once the most I got, like actually the most I got, was sitting on my bed and looking at a plain white wall, and the wall looking like it was morphing like butterfly wings. Not like it became a butterfly, but just the colors were just kind of doing like a flapping motion.
Yeah.
That was the most I got. And that was like enough. I was like, whoa, this shit, that's cool. What else can this do? To be clear, the reason why I wasn't getting many effects is just because I was wasting it in the way I was smoking. I was just burning it, and I was actually not really getting any real vapor. So when I thought I was smoking like multiple milligrams, I wasn't. I also didn't have a scale. So I wasn't weighing my doses. I was just guessing. I was just smoking as much as I could handle until coughing, right? Then I had this one experience. I was sitting in my friend's garage. This was the first time I got an inclining of fear. I was sitting in his garage. This would have been, I don't know, in the teens at least, of trying it. He was beside me. I was not a weed smoker, but we decided to try smoking it by the sandwich method, by putting it between some weed. And that is, I gotta make a video on this. This could be the video on this. That was a fucking trip, man. That was the first real DMT trip I ever had. Oh man, how much did we put? I think I had acquired a scale at this point because I was getting frustrated that it wasn't working. I think we put like 100 milligrams in between the two of us, at least.
So enough.
Yeah. It might have been 120 just to make sure that it didn't burn, that one of us was going to get something. And we were sitting in his garage again, and his car was in front of us, just to give you a picture. So I was like right in front of a fucking rim and a tire of a car, like 3 feet in front of me. So I remember looking at him, and he just like, his arms collapsed, and he was just like, he started laughing hysterically. And then he's like this, he's like, he started reaching for something, and I was looking at him like, what the fuck is this guy doing? He's like, it was so weird. It was like he was tickling a baby. I don't know what the fuck he was doing. And then like, I don't think that I had really properly vaporized it yet still, because the sandwich method is tough to get. But this is a good example of what being stoned and high on DMT feels like, because it was fucking weird. So then like, I was like, okay, I'm just going to take a big one. Like what I got to see what this guy is seeing. And I just remember it was just like, bam, like a rocket ship. It just went from nothing to 100 fucking million horsepower, because I was just sitting there looking at this rim, and I just remember getting actually lost in the wheel, like feeling like my essence moved from the seat to being inside the wheel. And then when I got inside the wheel broke apart. It was actually like a kaleidoscope. And then there was like hundreds of millions of wheels. And I was totally lost because I didn't know where I was in this big mess. And I just felt like I was zooming through, like, they say fractals, but it was fucking Mustang wheel fractals. And it only lasted maybe 30 seconds of that intensity. And then I just like, I had my eyes open because I was looking at the wheel while the wheel was exploding. And I think I just like leaned back and closed my eyes and like, you know, did one of these like, whoa. And then I just laid there. I think I was so confused with what was going on. I didn't really have an opinion. I didn't know what to make of it. I just remember looking at my friend and he had stopped giggling and he looked like a fucking zombie. He's just like this. And I'm just like looking at him thinking, fuck, I don't want that to happen to me. And then, and looking at the wheel, I tried to get up because I was kind of freaked out. The weed made the DMT linger. There was like this really weird disassociative feeling of not knowing who I was. I think this was one of the first times I had that. And the cannabis, for some reason, made that last for 30 minutes. I didn't feel normal or even just stoned for 30 minutes. It was this weird in-between ego lost, fearful place. And that was the most that I ever got. So that would have been like, what, a sub?
Yeah.
That's similar to like what you had, right?
A bit. Just I had my eyes closed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And yours, I think, might have gone on longer.
Yeah. It was like 10 minutes or so.
Yeah. But after that, I'm telling this massive story here. And the point was, after that, I didn't change. There was nothing about that experience where I was calling my friends and be like, hey, man, I got lost in my friend's rim. Like, no, it was just, that was weird.
That was not enlightening.
No, it was just a weird fucking experience.
God is a rim.
It's slightly uncomfortable. I didn't like it. Luckily, for the sake of my anxiety, I attributed my distaste for it to the cannabis. Yeah. I thought, oh, okay, it's probably the mixture that made it that weird. So I didn't write it off.
Did you ask what the guy was touching or laughing about? Because that'd be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, he said he didn't know. And I asked him if he ever wanted to do it again, and he said no. He said, I have absolutely no interest in ever smoking that shit again, Adam.